From quarterbacks on huge deals to players that are living off name recognition or draft capital, today we will break down the most overpaid players in the NFL. Before we dive in, don't forget to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and comment overpaid to be entered in this month's $100 Amazon gift card giveaway. Good luck, and let's get started with Jared Goff. Goff got paid like a superstar after having his career saved by coach Sean McVay. Goff's deal included more than $110 million in guarantees and an annual cap hit of $33 million, which ranks in the top 5 of all quarterbacks. Unfortunately for the Rams, Goff regressed this year with the rest of the Rams offense, posting 10 less touchdowns and 4 more interceptions than in his breakout 2018. Goff is nearly impossible to cut until 2023, carrying a dead cap hit over $30 million until then. The Rams have to hope Goff returns to his 2018 ways, or they will be regretting this contract very, very dearly in the future. Next is Le'Veon Bell. After sitting out a year, Bell signed a massive deal with the New York Jets in the 2018 offseason. The deal was a 4-year, $52 million deal that included $27 million in guarantees. Bell was signed before the new head coach Adam Gase was brought in, and immediately there were rumors that Gase was not a fan of Bell and was rumored to be available for trade the whole season. Bell almost hit 800 yards last year, down about 500 from his peak. His receiving totals also took a hit as the whole Jets offense suffered, so Bell held out, expected a little too much in most people's opinions. Next, we have DeSean Jackson. Once Jackson was reunited with the Eagles, he signed a 3-year deal worth up to $27 million. While $15 million was guaranteed, Jackson has rarely been on the field for the Eagles and hasn't played a full season since 2013. Jackson is an example of a player who can still produce when healthy, but the question of how often he can be healthy is now a concerning one. As he enters the age of 33, Jackson might not be long for the Eagles as the team only faces $5 million in dead cap if they cut him next year. Next is David Johnson. Johnson being on this list further drives home how crazy the Texans trading for him was. Johnson is due $20 million over the next 2 years and has the second highest salary amongst running backs this year and the 5th highest next year. Unfortunately for the Texans, Johnson has not produced like a star running back since his breakout year of 2016 and has dealt with injuries and missing time since then. Johnson was replaced by the Cardinals mid-season due to underperforming and is very expensive to cut, making it unlikely he does not make the Texans roster. Next is Donovan Smith. After being picked in the 2nd round, Smith has played for the Buccaneers each year of his career and was recently re-signed to a deal worth $27 million combined. Smith has struggled to stay healthy in his career and has bounced between average and below average play. But despite all of this, he got paid due to the scarcity of decent tackle play in the league, and the Bucs have to hope that he improves as he ages, as he will now be protecting an old Tom Brady with limited mobility. Next is Vic Beasley. Beasley signed a 1-year deal worth $9.5 million this offseason to go to the Tennessee Titans, where he hopes to receive his career. Selected number 8 overall by the Atlanta Falcons back in 2015, Beasley has failed to live up to his draft position. He briefly flashed in his sophomore year of 2016, logging 15.5 sacks. However, sack numbers can be misleading, and they were that year with Beasley. Lots of his numbers came off of cleanup sacks, meaning he didn't get them by beating the opposing tackle, but because the play broke down. He ranked just 42nd among edge defenders in pass rush win rate, 13.5%, and 37th in pressure rate, 12.6% that year, showing his sack numbers were not predictive of what he would be doing the rest of his career. Next is Jimmy Graham. The Chicago Bears signed Jimmy Graham to a 2-year deal worth up to $16 million this offseason. Now only $9 million of that is guaranteed, but Graham is still overpaid. He is 33 and has produced like an average tight end for about 3 years now. He hasn't been a true game changer since he was paired with Hall of Famer Drew Brees in 2013, and also he isn't the most reliable blocker in the world either. However, the Bears are desperate for anything as both general manager and head coach try to save their jobs after the failed Mitchell Trubisky experience. The Packers recently cut Graham, making him available for the Bears to sign. Next is Nate Solder. Nate Solder was signed to a 4-year, $62 million deal back in 2018 and has played at a below average rate since then. The Giants spent their recent number 4 overall pick on tackle Andrew Thomas out of Georgia, as well as a 3rd round pick on Matt Pert, potentially making Solder an expendable part of the roster going into the future. Solder would likely have to be traded as his contract carries a dead cap number of $16 million this year and $6 million next if he is cut. Solder might be paid to ride the bench for a bit if the Giants' recent draft picks pan out like they hope. Now last on this list we have Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins made history with his fully guaranteed contract and recently made even more money when he signed a 2-year extension worth $66 million. Cousins has hardly been a star for the Vikings, throwing 26 touchdowns and 6 interceptions last year and only 3,600 yards. Despite that, he ranks in the top 10 of QB salaries the next few years, so the Vikings are hoping that this last year was an aberration and he develops a clutch gene in the future. And that ends today's list. So which of these players do you think is the most overpaid NFL player in the league today? Let us know your opinion down in the comments. Also, don't forget to leave a like on this video, and if you are new to the channel, please subscribe. 6 Point Media. See you in the next one.